Welcome, Lee. Good to see you.
Neely,
I'm glad you could make it.
thank you.
Welcome, Venerable. It's good to see you tonight. Hi, Alex. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for coming tonight.
Hello.
Oh, can y'all hear me online? Okay. So if you have been online, you might have noticed that the Lamrim class is no longer called Lamrim. And that was per Geshe-la's request that we change it and call it something else that would kind of signify that it's not a entry-level drop-in class. And so the Lamrim classes has been changed to ongoing studies in Buddhism with Geshe Gelek. And so if you go to that page on the website, you will see that there's a list now, and the first text listed is the current text. That's the current text that he's using for the ongoing studies in Buddhism class. And that's the commentary that Geshe will be teaching from, and that either I or Catherine will be reading from. And then the supplemental texts are listed below, and those are just the miscellaneous other texts that we may or may not reference or refer to. So there they are. Say that again, Donna. Yeah, there's the Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhi. I've got two of them here, and he is pulling in. So one of those links to this book that we probably all are familiar with. I don't know if y'all can see that online. It's not zoomed in on it, but. And then one of the other versions is this one, Guide to the Bodhisattva Way of Life. And it's a translation by Alan Wallace. And then there's also another version that's has a red cover, and it's called The Way of the Bodhisattva, such and such. So if you have any questions, let me know. Geshe-la's coming on in.
Please turn to the red tab in the gold prayer book, page 35, and we'll begin with the 7-limb prayer. Gosum gupe gone chak shelo ngo shami tru chutrin malubu tog mene sak dik tung tam che shak che pa ge wanam la Jairam Korwamatom Bardulek Jugne Drola Chuki Korlo Korwadang Dagjan Gainam Jang Chuk Jen Porgo. Turn to the green tab for the short mandala offering, pages 97 and 98. Saji Puki Chukshing Metok Tramri Rabling Shi Ni de chen padi Sanjay Jingdu Mikte Uwa Idro Kunam Dag Jingla Chuparshok Jetsun Lama Dampa Chenam Kichu Kukala Chense Chutzin Trik Jitar Tampe Dulce Tsinma Lazab Techuki Charpa Wabdu Sol Idam Guru Ratnamandala Kamirya Tayami. Now on page 98, Geshe Gelek will lead us in Refuge and Bodhicitta. Oh, Heart Sutra. Even better. And that is on page 76 in the Gold Prayer Book. No. You delighted me, Geshe. Okay, page 76, the Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time, the Bhagawan was dwelling on Massa Vulture's mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagawan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perception. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara: How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell on the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagawan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated, even the Tathagatas researches. The Bhagawan having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, and those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagawan. Prayer to the lion-faced Dakini. I prostrate to the gathering of Dakinis in the three chakras who abide in the holy yoga of using space. By your powers of clairvoyance and magical emanation, look after practitioners like a mother her child. Aka Samaratsa Shadara Samaraya Pe. 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 Akasamaratsa 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 Shadara Samaraya Pe. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. By the teachings of the supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed. May they be dispelled. May they be pacified. Shintam Kuru Ye Soha. May all negative forces opposed to Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and harmful conditions to Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. And may there be auspiciousness and perfect happiness here right now. And now Refugium Bodhicitta? Oh, Mani Mantra?
We can't hear you, Geshe.
You cannot hear me? So today is emptiness teaching, so nobody can hear, nobody can hear nobody.
Now we can hear. 진지 망고 공도가 조사지지 올라지 투제지지 올라서 진레셀라 차세로 for their higher rebirth then like the if they are still in the part also then like there'll be like a more calm mind. Every week go through small death, so then wish them to have take rebirth, so the letters high rebirth. Okay, so then if not so, then they go to the second part also. Then calm mind with the part of people. 제제마 자동 저 콜론주 이제 뭐 전도 가와서 산제도 칼라칸도 텔라 텐데 줌바 제레스라 자세로 오마네
Me home.
Om Anem. Om 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 Anem. Om Om Joade Nila Teresa on the Sanje
Chirang Sakti Chagnam La, Jangchu Bardu Dakni Kapsuchi, Dagi Chin Chu Pe Sonam Ji, Trala Pinchir Sanje Druparsho.
Sanje
Chirang Sakti Chagnam La, Jangchu Bardu Dakni Kapsuchi, Dagi Chin Chu Pe Sonam Ji, Trala Pinchir Sanje Druparsho.
Sanje
Chudam Sakhi Chagnam La, Chungchu Bhagdi Dagni Chapsuchi, Dagi Chanyanji Pesonamji, Jala Pinchu Sanje Truparsho.
Hadala Memena Miranje, Omada Jajeno, Jala Javaja, Sanje Sura Ruda Devi. Dedara Jajaya Tampeju, Jajaya Namula Ekada Lunda Nishbete Valami. Roakujan Nadi Tam Jagan Tame Children, the Kangato, Tawadan. Tampeju de Mokotam Tana, Charles. Good evening, welcome back. Good evening. Can you hear now? Yeah, very good. A second. Again, Catherine found now make it more easier for class. Found text with English and Tibetan both now. I have everything here. Maybe like, we only cover so far only two stanza, I think, on two stanza, right? Two stanza.
I thought we went through stanza 4.
Huh? Stanza 4?
I thought so.
No, that's first one. Second, I think, second. All right, you're right, almost 4, yeah, almost 4. Let's go on. So maybe start again. Huh? Yeah, review probably this, because this is important, so we studied it well, okay? Looks like, Chanju se chobal jube namshi jase jungo so bamje. No? Chanju se chobal jubas. Like yeah, the entering into Bodhisattva deed. Entering into Bodhisattva deed, namshi the commentaries. Jungo so Liu Guba, Liu chapter 9, Sharaj Brother Shimba Tembas. Chapter 9, the way of training in the wisdom, That is the nature of superior insights. Sometimes they call like special insight. So superior insight is special insight. So that's what's called. Chapter number 9 is 9. The main subject is like special insight, special wisdoms that you gain after achieving shamatha. So this is the how in according to Buddhist philosophy, vipassana is the result of shamatha. No shamatha, no vipassana. So a lot of vipassana retreat is now going on. I'm not sure what kind of vipassana retreat, but vipassana is like special insight. There's like special wisdom that you gain, like able to concentrate, like really concentrate, that kind of produce, called hak extra, tong means seeing something extra before you are too distracted. So now you can focus, so one single object, you can focus throughout the day. You can have no problem focusing on one object 4 hours. So that means you probably reach 9 stages of shamatha. So that's why you're able to focus on one object 4 hours straight. So that produce special insight called haktong, the seeing something extra that hasn't been seen before. No, because there's no like enough mindfulness there. Explanation of the chapter and explanation of the title. So Liu Shung Shabada Liu Tinde. Kathy, everybody has the same text?
Catherine, are you in the really long one that has like 562 pages? The Bodhisattva Charya Vatara commentary. Okay. Yeah, and then we would be on page 448 of the PDF. And that can be accessed from the website. Just click on tonight's class, which is now called Ongoing Studies in Buddhism with Geshe Gelek. So if you haven't pulled it up already, click on that.
What's called ongoing?
Ongoing Studies in Buddhism with Geshe Gelek. 448. That's the one.
Didn't say what we are studying.
Yes, on the website it does.
Website says what we are studying. It says chapter number 9.
Yes,
Okay, good.
yes.
Otherwise, ongoing study Buddhism could be like reading all of this like one by one.
Right.
So there will be forever.
So instead of it being called Lamrim class, it's just ongoing studies. And there's a note that says this is an ongoing class intended for dedicated students who have a strong foundation in Mahayana Buddhism and some knowledge and understanding of advanced level topics in Buddhism. So it's not meant to be a drop-in.
Yeah, drop in
class.
not good, because we have very little times. Brand new show up, so not saying something's not good, saying something. So I think better like not to have. Yeah. Anyway, so now wasting our time. So I'm here wasting time too. So the Liu Shung Sheva, the Liu Tsendin means explanation of the chapter and the explanation of the title. It says the translated like explanation of the title, yeah, the name. No? Mm, uh, so how we should do? Should you read English part or should I read both or how we maybe Kathy, you are seeing the both text, Tibetan and English both? Yeah, maybe you should read the English part. So then, yeah, if there are any word, please, you don't understand, then just stop. Just say, look, explain, okay. Or maybe she will also, Kathy, we did work together a little bit yesterday. Didn't it?
So we're at explanation of the chapter, is that? what-
Yes, yeah. So,
Okay, so,
I guess we are like now, like we are more organized in Tibetan way. So hopefully,
so
yeah.
yeah, we're on 448
Hmm?
of the English translation.
Oh, my friend on Zoom, you have that. Do you have text too? You have text? Okay, very good. Oh, yeah. Isn't it?
Okay, so 448 of the translation of the commentary, we're on
Mm,
explanation of the chapter. We're under,
Mm.
on that heading.
mm,
Okay. So, showing that those wishing to attain liberation need to generate the wisdom realizing suchness, the method of how to generate the wisdom realizing suchness, therefore an advice to strive in generating this wisdom.
That's pretty clear, right? It's pretty clear. So then, like Catherine, well, we should stick with the one word, or we can choose emptiness or shunyata or suchness. We are not going to change this word. Each chapter has to change, so there's more confusion. So whichever word you are comfortable, so we stick with that one word, probably better. Then I think there's nothing much to explain. So yeah, please continue.
So do we want to say emptiness instead of suchness or?
That's up to whatever you do. Yeah,
All
I
right.
think.
Okay, so the next heading, showing that those wishing to attain liberation need to generate the wisdom realizing emptiness.
So now here, for the sake of I would say knowledge, somebody could just raise questions like, I say, therefore, sake of knowledge, anybody could just say like, showing that those wishing to attain liberations need to generate the wisdom realization, wisdom realizing emptiness. Oh. So now, question, somebody can say why? Then we need to think why. Yeah. So now, yeah. So showing that those wishing to attain liberations need to generate wisdom realization, suchness or emptiness. So now question is why? So that kind of force your understanding go a little bit deeper. So why? So so that's how you debate somebody stand up. So teachers are teachers. So that's a T means calling the name of Manjushri, or being there, your wisdom will, your intelligence will improve. So that's why you call six syllable of Manjushri called D, or Maharabha is not D. D, here, samsara, full of living beings. So you just go like this and turn up, and here, then you go like liberating them. Because like, teach other children. The mind, like, samsara, full of beings, then you go like this, then up, then liberate them. So that's the intention. Teach other children. So then there's somebody else like, why you need to realize emptiness in order to obtain liberations. So one person sitting in the middle, one person standing up, everybody else listening. Nobody has a book, so everybody listening. So then here's the answer. So if you give wrong answer, then you say cha. Cha means wrong. Pechada ga means then you are against the book, so then you are able to quote because there's no book able to say. Mm. So then somewhere go like that means you are confused. Not just confused, your head is going like this. So, there's a number of ways to do. So then slowly another person stand up, then two persons stand up. Some people team up. Usually person who's giving answer, you don't get much help. So you sit there. So then one person stand up, the two person, eventually there'll be 10 person standing up. Sometimes some people, they help you. But mainly, if you are sitting in the middle, so then you have to challenge 10 people. So then when debate get heated, so then it's so fast. The people say very fast, you can hardly. Of course, there are people, they study the materials, they probably knows. And then, so you could say, does not mean every person will give you the correct answer. Some people give some answer that's not correct, incorrect, and still hold on that answer, try to defend that answer. So whatever ways, eventually there's nothing more to there's nothing going against the books, against the logic. So then eventually you need to give up your answer. So then maybe then you change your answer, then that debate goes on and on till you find the correct answer. So then debate settles. Okay, just to think about why you want to need to actualize or realize emptiness in order to achieve liberations. Question, something to think about. Okay,
Okay, so we have two headings under this topic. So the general meaning and the auxiliary meaning. So for the general meaning, we have the first verse of the root text. Okay, which is the able one explained all these branches for the purpose of wisdom. Therefore, those wishing to pacify suffering need to generate wisdom.
So able ones, because the able one, that's the translation word tupa. That's how you say it. Buddha in Tibetan called tuba. Tup means able. Because like defeating affliction mind, delusions. There's the title. Tup means win. You win against afflictions. What is kind of title? Everyone explain all these branches. So now here I say like branches. What are those branches? Those branches can be one way to explain. Those branches apply to first 5 perfections. No, the wisdom is the last one. First 5 perfections Buddha taught simply to you to gain wisdom, realization, shunyata. For that, nothing more. Or branches refer chapter number 8, which is the main subject of chapter number 8 is shamatha. Shamatha. Shamatha like shine, shamatha. Yeah, so that's the only thing they need to explain. Branches refers to one way to explain the meaning of branches is refers to 5 professions. Able one of Buddha, Tathagata taught for what? You to actualize wisdom, realization, shunyata. Why? Because you are seeking liberations. Okay, like that. Or that branches refers to the chapter number 8, main subject, shamatha. very reason you develop shamatha is to see you are hoping to liberate. So that's why you achieve shamatha, and you want to use the shamatha not to just get like some kind of like calmness or peaceful, joyful. No, that's not the goal. Goal is to not to go to the celestial realms. Of course, no, that's not the goal. Goal is to see emptiness. For what? To achieve liberation. So that's like then their branches can be referred to chapter number 8. Okay. So now the last one is very good. Therefore, those wishing to overcome, pacify suffering, overcome from suffering, need to generate wisdom. So that, I think, is all the teachings boil down on wisdom. It's not boils down on faith, it boils down on wisdom. That guarantee liberation, some degree of liberation. Could be temporary, could be ultimate. Here we are talking about ultimate liberation from samsara, so not just temporary relief, but temporary wisdom. As I think last Sunday, I think the few Sunday I said, if somebody wants all the happiness, giving up all the desire, then you will achieve all the happiness. That's one of the Kadam Master said. As long as we chase desire, there will be no satisfactions. Therefore, so that this is all like how you say, advice that you need to understand. Or like don't fool yourself, hoping chasing desire you will be content or satisfied. Never happens. They said never happens. Following wisdom, maybe there's a way to content or satisfy. Sherab chini ngombe chis, sherab chini ngombe chis. Kanshi debe jetawa, kanshi debe jetawa tepa to ngombe use. Long as you are running after desires and hoping this like delusional thought that you're going to be satisfied, so there is ignorance, there's no wisdoms. If then the kanshi debe jetawa tepa to ngombe use, this all boy, sherab generating wisdom is very important. But here, this is very particular wisdom. We are wisdom realizing shunyata, that kind of wisdom, okay? So then, Catherine, please, can you read the next one?
So we have the argument.
Yeah, argument, yeah. So now I think I gain more confidence because I have both texts here. So otherwise, like, I keep bothering, like, Linda, so can you repeat this? Can you repeat that? Can you 4 or 5 times, and the same to Catherine, can you repeat this? Can you repeat this? Yeah, I will also, I don't blame you. Also, I will like, maybe not the first time, second time, third time, I'll wonder like, where is your concentration? If someone asked me to say Tibet, I only say it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, then I was probably will wonder like, where is your attention? So it kind of like makes me, I don't know, here, both tests here, so don't want to bother you again. Yeah.
So argument is,
Mhm.
because we need to attain enlightenment to pacify all suffering in the continuum of others, we need to realize emptiness. But why would one need to realize emptiness to merely pacify the sufferings in one's own continuum?
Something to, could be homework, something to think about. Could be homework, go back, and then I think, yeah, something to think about. Okay, so, Shinjuju Dunga Tata Shiva Chavala, London may be changed of course. The first one, argument, because we need to attain enlightenment to pacify all suffering in the continuum of others. So that there is no, that's very accurate statement. There's nothing to argue. Yeah. So now we need to realize such needs. So that's pretty true. But why would one need to realize such needs or emptiness to merely purify sufferings in one's own continuums. So that should we keep that as a homework. So then when you come back next Wednesday, so you need to be super energized to debate. Or maybe one person can stand up and say, "Oh, so then whoever sit in the middle, they say, then you ask, you repeat this, the next line, you repeat. So then see if somebody can answer or not. Should we do that?
Any volunteers?
Anyone else?
Sit in the middle.
Or like, I'm not sure, like, Christian, I could explain, but I want your wisdom to work. I want your wisdom to work harder. So then maybe you can figure it out. So maybe next Wednesday, Catherine, next Wednesday we get to hear, and then maybe first 30 minutes we just Q&A. Or doesn't have to be in monastery, you have 2 lines. Or could be one line, maybe here, monastery, each class is 100 people. Multiple lines, so it doesn't have to be 2, 1, 2. We don't need to sit like that. So we can just sit like this, then just somebody volunteer to answer and somebody volunteer to ask questions. You don't need to go all of that, so don't need to do all of this, just ask why one would need to realize such emptiness to merely pacify the suffering of one's own mind. There could be one, and first one, another one, first one. Yeah, you remember the first one? Why someone needs to understand emptiness in order to achieve liberations. First questions. Second question here, can you mark so then maybe, and you can announce lesson. Okay. The answers, the protector Nagarjuna, yeah, the probably more appropriate word could be Venerable Nagarjuna or protector composer. Master Nagarjuna, Venerable Nagarjuna is probably a better choice, isn't it? So this is like Nagarjuna's text. Mula Samukarika called or Sawashirasana. Root of wisdom. Nagarjuna, that text is composed by Nagarjuna called Tsawasharab. Tsawasharab is the root of wisdom. So the Tsawasharab, root of wisdom. That's the name of the text by Nagarjuna. Kind of gives you hint of the answer. This is kind of like that. Did he say answer, Catherine? Yeah. So now need to think answer of what. There are 2 questions above. Answer of what? Okay. Answer, yeah. Yeah, please.
So the protector Nagarjuna said, for as long as there is grasping at the aggregates, for that long there is grasping at I.
Yeah, so that is the answer. Kind of like answer, but it's kind of like not like very detailed answer, but it's kind of hint. So chisi pumbo zuyo ba tisi tela nga zuyos. So that's the word. Sawashirab. I think what Nagarjuna text, like, I think the root of wisdom, called something root of the wisdom. Sawashirab.
So now, can you continue to read the commentary there?
He is saying that for as long as there is true grasping at the aggregates, for that
Aggregate, as you know, we have 5 aggregates, right? Form, feeling, so discrimination, conversational, then consciousness, 5 aggregate, that's aggregate, okay? Then, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. As long as there is true grasping at the aggregates, for that long, one will not stop the transitory view grasping at inherent I and mine.
다 지시 풍부된지 여봐 대치도 나도 거기와 랑게 생기 좀 준비직다 믿어 봤음라스 will not stop tentative view of grasping. This is very special term called jikta. Jikta, short. Jigsaw la tawa, this longer word to say jikta. Jig literally means like disintegrate. Momentary disintegrate called jig. So, but in here, like a transitory view of grasping, so that's called, which is the root of samsara. Okay, which is root of samsara, that's one. Transitory view of grasping at inherent I and my, so that is the root of samsara in Sutrayana. Then, jikta, small, ta means view, ta. Jikta means transitory view. Transitory is the transitory of jik. Ta is view, transitory view, jikta. There's 2 of them, one that grasping at I, one that grasping at my body, my feeling, the idea, my opinion, all of that. So there's 2 of them. So that is the root of samsara, okay? Transitory view. These are wrong view, not right view. These are wrong view. Eightfold noble path. That's called right view. This one's wrong view. This is a wrong view. Transitory view called jikta, short. Okay. Continues here.
Nobody here asserts that hearer and self-liberator arhats have not completely abandoned the transitory view, but because one needs to stop true grasping at the aggregates to that end, it is asserted that they realize the non-true existence of the aggregates.
So now we are studying this chapter number 9 exactly the way we study in the monastery. So now like that means we are now studying this in very depth. Okay. So Nyera Drajumbe Jida Seba Mabamba Suyam Vidujings Nyerang. You know Herer? What does ring bell? Herer Nindi. So then another one, what's called self-liberator. Ring the bell? Yeah. There's like 3 sets. Hearer, self-liberator, self-realizer, whatever you call. Bodhisattva. Each one has 5 part of accumulation, part of preparation, part of seeing, part of meditative, part beyond learning of hearer. There's 5. Part of accumulation, part of preparation, part of seeing, part of meditative, part beyond learning of self-liberator, what is it called? Self-liberator or self-realizer, same thing. Then here, it's called same things, all same part of accumulation, part of preparation, part of seeing, part of meditative, part beyond learning. in Bodhisattva path. So that become 15. 15 is the path. That's how you count. 15 is the path. Okay, that's how you count. So, yeah, said, Rangja. The hearer, they are very much like social. They learn, they listen, they go to teaching part. They're like, they are very much like social. They learn. Self-realizer, they go to cemeteries. They don't sit down to get studied. They go to cemeteries. They found piece of bone. They just pick that up, and they ask, where is this coming from? Then it's coming from death. Where does death come from? Sickness, where sickness, aging. So then they go to 12 link. They go to reverse order. Then they go in order, and somehow they don't go where Buddha is teaching. So they don't go to teaching. They had enough teaching. So now they just like wander yogi. So they go to cemeteries. Then they try to achieve liberation by themselves. They're trying to figure it out. So that's self-liberated. Doesn't mean they don't need any help, or they reach to the point they feel they don't need help to liberate themselves, so they can just go to like meditation, like that picking a piece of bone. There's the word connotation, self-liberator. Self-liberator. So the meaning of this word, self-rangel. So, but of course, within the self-realizer, there's some of them go with the group. So now this one, Sirita Varanja, self-realizer like rhino. Rhino, usually they don't go in groups, so they are like solitary animals. So there's called rhino like self-realizer. These are the ones, when the Buddha comes, they just decide they go somewhere else. So they no longer depend on teaching, they had enough teaching. So they go to cemeteries, things like that. But there's another group of self-realizers, they do need community for the further knowledge. Okay, this is for second knowledge. Now you understand why it's called self-realizer, self-liberator, self-realizer. So they pretty much figure out themselves. They had all the teaching they need. Okay, for second knowledge. And then, so now the question number probably, Nyaran Dajun be Jigda Seba Mabama Suya me teachings. Tell a Pumbo de say giving Nyaran Papa Pumbo de Metoba, Pumbo de Metoba, Pumbo de Metoba Sheba Taras. So then you only read Captain, right? You understand when you read in English? So then we move, everybody understand, right? Then we move the next part. So now the debate is not finished yet, it's continuing.
So this master, being Shantideva,
Well,
asserts as well that one needs to realize emptiness in order to pacify the sufferings of cyclic existence, which is explained further below. Those who wish to understand this presentation more extensively should do so in dependence on the great commentary by the great divine omniscient Lama Tsongkhapa, who is the guide of all the worlds on the introduction to the middle way.
so this master, probably Shantideva and Nagarjuna, all of that, this masters, their understanding of the liberation is based on Madhyamika systems. Within the Madhyamika system, Madhyamika Pasankika systems, their whole wisdom is based on that. Okay? Tā lōbīn dī jāng kōwē dōngā shiwā lā yā, tē kōnā nyo tō kāpā shē tēs wō rō yā chabā jū rō chē. Dida ke namsha jeba sheba duna lhata chibi jide tamche ji deba je rinpoche tamche chembo losan tabi poa sambe shengane zibi umala jubi namsha chembo le sheba chaos. So that probably has, this book has like close to 4,000 pages or something like that. So we, in the monastery, we study page by page that text, so that there's like Lama Tsongkhapa wrote Zashe teaching, commentary on Zashe, the root of wisdom, probably has like a couple hundred pages. And this was also the Lama Tsongkhapa wrote two commentaries. One is commentary for the root of wisdom, which just quoted by Nagarjuna. Lama Tsongkhapa wrote that intensive commentary on that, or Zashe teachers monastery, we studied there too. This is called Gombar. So this is commentary for Chandakri text, the root text, the entry into the middle way. That is commentary, that it has like, that's the one, the commentary of the entry into the middle way. So that's what Kathy just read. Okay, then so there's nothing much to explain. I think pretty much clear, right? Nothing to explain. So then second one,
The clear cognizance of the various commentaries on this text, which show it to teach that hearers and self-liberators do not realize the selflessness of phenomena as mistaken meaning of the text, shall be explained.
shung di nyera la chu chu dame tokpa, mepa tempa di namshi cheba tume cheba ni shungi tu chinji lo yinpa sawa to de cheba juro che. I'm not sure what there's some number. I'm not sure what is the number.
I
Okay.
think it's a reference to
Well,
something else later.
the shung di nyera la chu chu dame tokpa, mepa tempa. Di namshi. All right. So you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. What's happening here? Madhyamika Pasankika systems is not possible you to achieve liberation without actualizing wisdom, realizing emptiness. Impossible. Or maybe mind-only systems, Vipasika, Sastantika, as I said, there are four school of Buddhism. Vipasika, Sastantika, mind-only school, Madhyamika. Madhyamika, there's Madhyamika Sastantika, then Madhyamika Pasankika. Below all of that, they don't believe you have to see the emptiness, Pasankika view of emptiness. You need to see that in order to achieve liberation. They don't believe. They think, oh, our view of emptiness will guarantee you to achieve liberation. But generally speaking, you have to actualize wisdom, realize the shunyata. That shunyata is not not shunyata that you understood in the Vipasika, Sastantika, mindful school. Shunyata that been explained in Nagarjuna's text. That shunyata, you need to actualize the wisdom for that shunyata in order to liberate, achieve liberation. That's what is happening. That is the base of the debate here. Base. Nagarjuna said you have to see absence of inherent existence. You have to see that. Without that, there will be no liberation. Those like Vipasika, Sastantika, and mind only, they say it is possible. You don't need to see absence of inherent existence. You can liberate. So that is the root of the debate. That's what's happening, okay? It's good to know. Then you can give you some idea. Otherwise, which system you are talking about now? We are still talking about this system, that system, a little bit complicated. But it's not that complicated, it's awarded, okay? Then it's clear now, right? Yeah, then Oh, yeah. No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on.
When you first asked, does everybody understand? My answer was no. And then you proceeded to explain. So my answer is now yes.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
So that's called wisdom. So that's called very good. All right. Yeah, so then Kathy, please continue.
So the page number that you have there, on the version that's online that you can't see because we downloaded it onto your thing, right? So when I go over that, it says it's the page number from, I think, one of these commentaries that are referenced here. It says, Jojug Sadra.
Huh?
Jojug Sadra. Is that one of the commentaries? It says that page 344
Oh.
is the page number from something, which I'm guessing is one of the commentaries that it's talking about in that. Jojug Sadra. Mhm. Jojug Sada. Jujug Sada. I don't know. And then it has something else in parentheses.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. So Junju Lada, okay,
Maybe
oh, Junju Lada, okay, I understood, okay. Very good, thank you. So now the one can continue with the next one.
Okay. Where was I?
These branches-
Okay, these branches, okay.
Oh.
These branches can refer merely to calm abiding, which is explained in the
Chapter number 8.
eighth chapter.
Okay, oh,
Or it can refer to all the remaining perfections, starting with generosity.
that all the experience. So yeah, you can please go ahead and read.
There are these two systems, and although the first system is feasible from the point of view of the relation of the earlier and later chapters, here one follows the second system.
Okay, this is very clear. Oh, then it, oh, my friend online, you are okay, good. Okay, very good. Yeah. Then Jimara Sumiyana share from the Sung Shabala. About that, Jimara. Okay, so now, yeah, please continue. That's very good.
The doubts with regards to the branches of generosity and so forth were taught for the purpose of wisdom are eliminated as follows.
Okay, so then. Jimbala Sumiyana share from the Sung Shabala. Toba dita che des. For the purpose of the wisdom are eliminated as follows. Well, okay, Toba dita. Yeah, okay. Yeah, can.
In general, do generosity and the other perfections not need to precede the realization of emptiness by way of listening and contemplation? Because although one needs to build up merit to realize emptiness, the practice of a bodhisattva, such as explained here, do not have to be preliminaries. This is similar to the two modes of realizing emptiness through listening and contemplating, as explained by the master Kamalashiva.
Oh, understood. If not, I read. Take online two subject top balance. Understanding like other yeah. Such the realization, probably not realization, probably understanding of suchness by way of listening. Somebody explain or what is emptiness like that. And contemplating, maybe reading more material than thinking, okay, contemplating. There's like true understanding of emptiness can be generated by listening to somebody else explaining, and maybe reading more than contemplating. There's two ways to understand emptiness. Still not realize, just understanding, just understanding, meaning, have experience. Same like or learning how to make pizza. Somebody explain pizza, you never met one, but you just learn. Or how to make pizza, somebody explain, you know, maybe that. And maybe like you contemplate a little more, then, like more likely when you make one, you are not going to make mistake because you are not just heard and you did some research and read more materials, but still you don't experience like that. So that's the first two way of not realizing, understanding emptiness. 대권한이 투삼지 또 벌라 지송으로 적어봐 마인데스. 지 돈이 또 벌라 초사 괴정스. 디셰버 다베 찬주스베 쩌봉으로 로미미데 로베 시와 쳬스. 돈이 투삼지 때는 밥주니 셰버 시노스. 아 here is not just here is more like a realization. We are not simply talking about understanding of emptiness that you need to be generous or practice patience. You need to not like you need to engage in the rest of the perfections in order to understand emptiness. That's not what maybe person misunderstood. That's not what Shantideva was saying. Shantideva was saying realizing shunyata require, it's require vast amount of merit. The way to that's what like first 5 professions dedicated to you to create merit. That's what it's all about. So and here like Catherine Luskal, you got confused?
Yeah, so by practicing the other 5 perfections, you create and generate a lot of merit.
That's
But
correct.
this is saying that there are other ways to create the merit that will lead you to realizing emptiness too. Is that right? Because it doesn't have to be those
Only double
5.
so sagreja this shepherd changes to make trouble to the lobe she was your Tony to them to tell about so. To some situation. I think like in my understanding here, like in order to realizing shunyata, emptiness, you need to engage first 5 perfections. You need to practice that. But simply understanding, understanding whether you are listening from someone else or you are reading someone, you don't need to engage into first 5 practice of the first 5 perfections. So that's what I understood when I read. So because they says, okay, they are like Kamala Shila. Shivatsu, I think Shivatsu, the Kamala, that's the name of the Shivatsu explains how one can understand emptiness by listening, by contemplating. When you read the Kamala Shila text called Stages of the Middle Way, Gumrim Power, stages of the middle way, something that text. That's the text that Kamala Shila produced. So when you read generally, in general, do generosity and other perfection, no needed to proceed. They should not say realize, they should say understanding of shunya suchness by listening and contemplations. I think that's agreed. Mainde chi toni toba sosa gurjas. This is not really arguments, kind of like explanations. You understand?
But Spirit says, you have to have merit to in order to realize
Yeah,
emptiness, but it says they don't have to be preliminaries. So I don't understand what it means by what does it mean by
no, I'll talk about the next line.
where it says because although one needs to build up merit to realize emptiness, practices of a bodhisattva, such as explained here, do not have to be preliminaries.
So here, that's very good. Then do not have to be preliminary with the practice of Bodhisattva power. They should say practice of Bodhisattva deed. Bodhisattva deed. Practice of, they should say practice of Bodhisattva deed, not Bodhisattva. I'm not sure how you practice Bodhisattva. Huh? Bodhisattva is the person. How are you going to practice Bodhisattva? How are you going to practice Hamula? You could say, okay, I can practice Hamula deed. Makes sense. Practicing Hamula doesn't make sense. There should be Bodhisattva deed, Catherine. Should be Bodhisattva deed. No, so that here, Bodhisattva deed then refers to remaining perfections. Refers to that. You know, guide to Bodhisattva deed. Bodhisattva deed is 6 perfection. These are the Bodhisattva deed. There's nothing more. Even though there's 100,000 Bodhisattva deed, sums up into 6 perfections. Here, they should say Bodhisattva deed. The practice of Bodhisattva deed, such as explained here in this guide to Bodhisattva way of life, do not have to be preliminary. So that's bottom line. What they are saying is, you don't need to engage yourself into the first 5 perfections Bodhisattva did in order to understand shunyata. So that's what is happening. So here we are not just talking about understanding, chapter number 9 is talking about realization of shunyata. So that requires you to engage into remaining perfections, 5 perfections. You have to engage. So just to have understanding, yeah, so you could go, not practicing general, you could go someone who's experiencing emptiness, maybe you can hear, you have some idea, oh, what that was, that's how you define emptiness. You didn't practice patience, you didn't practice generosity, you didn't practice concentrations. That's possible.
So when it says preliminaries here, it's talking about the preliminary practices. It's-
Not my changes in
It says
the
Ngondro, right? Ngondro.
when you say Ngondo, that's right, that's preliminary practice. You know, such as like 100,000 water bowl, 100,000 refuge in Buddhism prayer, 100,000 recitation mantra, Vajrasana mantra, 100,000 mandala offering. These are called Ngondo. Ngondo. Ngondo means something that has to go before. Ngondo. And here, what Ngondo means, they are talking about Bodhisattva deed. Bodhisattva deed. So they should not say Bodhisattva. I think first of all, it's like small mistake. Should say Bodhisattva deed. So same, you could say, oh, you don't need to practice generosity in order to realize emptiness. Or you could say, you don't need to engage into Bodhisattva deed. Basically, you are saying the same thing. One is more specific. You are saying, oh, don't need to practice generosity. Another say, you don't need to practice Bodhisattva deed. The practice of Bodhisattva deed does not need to go before you understand emptiness by listening, contemplating. But here, we are not just talking about understanding emptiness by listening, contemplating. We are talking about actualizing realizations that require you to engage in the 6 perfections. And yeah, that's very good. So that because of Catherine, so now then this little small mistake here. That's good.
Well, I was just wondering about what you said before, that there's 2 ways of going through the path, and sharp practitioners would realize emptiness, shunyata, first, and then bodhicitta. And so I would think that the first 5 perfections would be to create that merit for bodhicitta. So I think that they're talking about sharp practitioner and then the dull practitioner who goes through the perfections, realizing bodhicitta, engaging in bodhicitta, and then realize emptiness. So aren't they talking about that?
I think this is talking about, I think generally, Amla, generally. They are not talking about within the Bodhisattva. Within the Bodhisattva, there's two of them. One, first, generate bodhicitta, then realize emptiness. There's one Bodhisattva, only realize emptiness, then develop bodhicitta later. These are Bodhisattva. So now here, there are, generally speaking, if someone wants to then, I think now it's getting a little more complicated. You are thinking that this statement is for two types of bodhisattva. How's about us? We are for our house, like if you are not bodhisattva, so then I think Allah does something to share up cheers. Yeah, I think it's incorrect to say like, oh, you have to engage into bodhisattva deed in order to actualize shunyata. That's incorrect. Don't you think? Yeah, it's correct. So this is bodhisattva practice. Another way to say, you don't have to be bodhisattva in order to understand, in order to actualize wisdom, realize the shunyata. You don't need to be bodhisattva. Right? So, but that's not going to change the actual statement. The Buddha taught, what Shantideva was saying, the Buddha taught first 5 perfections. Buddha taught not just also that, no. Basically, everything, all the teaching, 84,000 scriptures, the Buddha taught is for what? For wisdom, for liberations, for samsara, from liberation from samsara. So, yeah, so there's like some, when you debate, so there's some technical problems. So if you go to debate court, yeah, so then the Ramula is like that point, I'm not sure, like clearly you don't need to be bodhisattva in order to actualize wisdom, realize shunyata. We just said it. So here, path beyond learning, that's liberations. Self-realizer, path beyond learning. Every path beyond learning is liberations. In order to achieve the path beyond learning in the hearer, you don't need to be bodhisattva. It's clear there's no bodhisattva there. First 5 paths, there's no bodhisattva. Second 5 paths, there's no bodhisattva. Bodhisattva starts from here. So these are all, say, arhat, not arya, arhat. Arhat means someone who achieved path beyond learning. Doesn't have to be Buddha. It could be path beyond learning in hearer, path beyond learning in self-realizer. These are called arhat. These are not bodhisattva. Arhat is Mayana path. That's like Buddhahood. That's enlightened being. Mayana path of preparation, path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, path of middle, path beyond learning. Mayana path, that's Buddhahood. It's still called arhat. There's arhat there, there's arhat in the last path beyond learning here. It's also called arhat. Path beyond learning in the self-realizer, also called arhat. Arhat doesn't mean Buddhahood. It means like simply freedom from samsara. That's called arhat. Arya means here part of seeing. That's called arya. Part of seeing emptiness directly is called arya. There's arya here, arya there, arya there. That's all arya beings. And there is called arhat. Last one, arhat. There's three. First two is not Buddhahood, it's like simply liberated. So this all require wisdom realizing shunyata. Without that, you cannot be arhat. Based on Pasangika systems, you have to have wisdom realizing shunyata in the Pasangika point of shunyata, not any types of shunyata like that. So now here, Yangla did go back to the beginning. Yangla did that everything they taught, Buddha taught is for sake of wisdom. What kind of wisdom? Wisdom realizing shunyata. Now the question is, clearly you don't have to be Bodhisattva. That's very clear, right? Can we help?
I think the next paragraph still kind of clarifies a little
Okay.
bit, maybe.
I think that there's a number of conditions that makes class a little bit more difficult. End of the day, coming from a walk, most of the energy is spent at the walk. There's not much energy left for the class. There's like getting like close to the bed, go to bed. All the class in monastery taught in the morning when the mind is more fresh. But again, can't start in the morning because people have to go to work. So that's another problem. So yeah, next paragraph is more clear.
Hopefully. Okay.
Yeah.
So one also does not need them, which is the them we're talking about, the practices of the bodhisattvas, the five perfections. Okay. One also does not need them as preliminaries to generate a mind-moving experience of emptiness, because then they would also have to precede other realizations, such as an experience of impermanence. One also does not need them as preliminaries for the generation of superior insight, realizing emptiness from meditation, because although they do not first engage in the practices of a bodhisattva, hearers and self-liberators realize emptiness in the way just mentioned.
Okay, now the next one is more clear. Probably can you read more? Next one. Maybe the next one is then more clear. Yeah, probably. Can you read the next one and see it's more clear?
So the next argument?
Yeah.
Okay. That they were taught for the purpose of wisdom is because the wisdom realizing emptiness is the substantial cause for the Dharmakaya. And the
So now you are talking about enlightenment. You are not talking about path beyond learning in Herer. You are not talking about that. You are not talking about path beyond learning, self-realization. You are talking about path beyond learning in the minor path. There's only kayas. There's no kaya here. There, the kayas, no, they know.
And the methods of generosity and the other perfections are the simultaneously acting conditions. One needs the benefit of generosity and the other perfections to achieve the result of wisdom. So this is the argument.
Yeah.
This is not the explanation yet.
Yeah, it's unfortunately. See, it's very good. There's a way the debate to make that. It kind of makes you sure that you understand clearly. First stanza clearly. Then, so if somebody bringing this argument, that argument, it's all defeated. So that your understanding is very firm and clear. Oh no. Then 대단나 share 대단나 share 대단하게 좀 숨쉬 고도나야 숨소. That's why you're trying to get the best out of through this debate going back. It's not like trying to prove who is better. I'm better than you. You are better than me. There's no ego. There's just want to learn. There's no ego involved. There's just want to learn. That's all. There's no ego like they want to get the best to debate, like that. Not just, oh, you said, oh, then like I bow down to you, so like whatever you say, I will take. Not like that, I have questions, so please answer, they're like debate. Oh. So I think now time is running out. So you can read the one more, then we'll stop there, Catherine.
Okay,
uh,
the answer starts, in that case, one could also turn it around and say that wisdom was taught for the purpose of the other perfections.
so we'll just leave with the confusion tonight.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Going back 3 paragraphs, in general, the paragraph that says in general, do generosity and other perfections not need to be preceding the realization of suchness? Did you say they're using the term realization when they should be using the term understanding?
Yeah, in my understanding, I think like realization require like realization require merit. The merit, the way to create merit is to engage into the rest of the perfections. But understanding of shunyata doesn't require that much merit. You could understand emptiness by listening or reading. Doesn't need to create that much merit by engaging into 5 perfections. That's my understanding. And they're very good. So I think now it's very good. Now we can really study this. We are not going to left even one word. We're going to read everything here. I feel very comfortable. I have the English and Tibetan both, and thank you very much for Catherine. So she probably, even though her computer is not doing very well, so computer is working also falling apart. Okay. Thank you. We'll stop here, okay? So I'm very excited to finish this chapter with you all. So I think we'll learn something good, okay? Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Donasi. Thank you, everyone.
Please turn to the yellow tab in the Gold Prayer Book, pages 235 and 236 for the general dedication prayers. Gewadi Dudak Long Sanjay True Journey Drowa Chikyam Malupa Dei Sala Go Parshok Jangchub Sem Jog Rinpoche Ma Ke Panam Ke Jurche Ke Wanyam Pa Me Payang Gong Ne Gong Du Pel War Shog Jam Pel Pa Wo Ji Tar Chen Pa Dong Kun Tu Sang Po De Ang De Jin Te De Da Kun Ji Je Su Dak Lok Chir Ge Wa Di Dak Tam Che Rab Tu Ngo Du Sum Shek Pe Jel Wa Tam Che Ki Ngo Wa Gang La Chok Tu Ngak Pa De Dak She Ge Wei Ta Wa Di Kun Kyang Dang Po Chu Chir Rab Tu Ngo Wa Ji Dagi Jine Sak Pe Ge Wa Di Tendang Jo Wa Kun La Gang Pendang She Par Jet Sun Lo Sang Drak Pa Yi Ten Pe Ning Po Ring Tu Sel Je Shog. And turn to the blue tab, page 244 for the long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Gangri Rawe Korwe Jing Kam Dir Pendang De Wa Malu Jung Wei Ne Chen Re Si Wang Ten Si Jat So Yi Jape Si Te Bardu Tenjur Chig. And on the facing page, the prayer for Geshe's teacher, Khensa Rinpoche Jetsun Lobsang Gelek. Jonu e nagla wangjor tu, awatare zen barab sotpa, lobsang gilwe de tong lek pel chok, gaser genjur lama solwade. Inside the back cover, the prayer for the swift return of Jabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Prateka Buddhas, victorious Lozang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable, venerable Guru, to you I make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And inside the front cover, the prayer for Geshe Gelek's long life. Gewe lam na dren pe de pun chog, leg she dam parter wen yin morje, chuki zao wa mi tong she nyen chog, drag pa pong we lam ma shab ten che. And for Geshe San poem. Gewe chuki bak chag rab ten ching, pel den la me dam ngak ning la chang, zang po ja wei nyen shen da je pe, shen yen chen po ku che rab ten chig. And 7 Taro mantras for the benefit of all beings. Om tare tu re so ha. 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 Om tare tu re so ha.
Okay, thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Dharma friends. Good night. Sleep well.
Thank you, Neil.